I'm Dr. Jordin Wiggins, and this is the Pleasure Principles podcast. Join me on this journey where sex, science, and sensuality meet. Let's change the conversation around sex and pleasure together. Superwomen, I am so excited to have Jill Stanton. Although we have not even met in person, but I feel like I know you for a lifetime.
Sisters.
Because
sisters for life.
We went to the same university. We've drank at the same bars.
No, wait. I don't think I knew you went to Brock. Did you go to Brock?
Yeah.
No.
We did. We did talk about. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Because then we got into like the chili pepper and all like the bars.
I used to bartend there. Oh
yeah, like
I Frenched many boys there.
We might have even kissed the same men.
It's very possible. I Frenched a lot.
So Jill is an amazing connector and creator of the Millionaire Girls Club, which we will tell you a little bit more about. But Jill, welcome. I'm so happy to know you. So happy to have you here.
I'm so excited. I'm so grateful you came into my world. Like, shout out to Veronica Romney for Forevermore, for linking us up. I was already like creeping your content last year, but then she started raving about you and mentioned cheetah energy. And I was like, I need this chick in my life. So I'm just so forever grateful.
Shout out to Veronica Romney for Forevermore. I love that.
Yeah.
Love her. Love you. So tell us a little bit about you, whatever's on your heart to share.
Oh my goodness. I am in a whole phase of reinvention right now. I think I'm in a phase of realizing how much I abdicated my power and operated like from a place of like not believing in myself for years. Now, my husband and I, his name is Josh, we've had a business together since 2012. And then we started another business called Screw the 9 to 5. And as I've been like, we're in a deep stage of healing and coaching together. Like we are working with a coach together to improve our marriage and whatnot. And as I've been doing a lot of that work, like this like excavation process, and as our coach is like prompting me with things, I've realized how insanely codependent I was and how much I like abdicated my power to him because I thought, well, Josh is the smart one. Josh knows better. Josh is like the calm one. Josh is logical. Josh is structured. Josh is this. Josh is that. And I'm in this phase right now of like a reclamation of my own power. And it's just such a cool experience to be in right now. I've had some really hard conversations. And on the other side of that, I just feel so fucking proud of myself. So that's me.
So we talked about, briefly mentioned cheetah energy, but can we talk about queen energy, goddess energy? Because that is exactly what Jill just shared. She could have came on here and talked about how she's crushing it in her business and how her and her husband crushed it in their business, but she came and she shared the truth authentically and unapologetically. And that is some queen energy. That is what we need more of. And that is what this All Have What She's Having series is about. We don't need the fake shit. We like the realness.
I find that the fake shit feels suffocating to me because it's just like, it gets me in my head being like, oh my God, am I the only one? You know, plus, aren't we all girlfriends here? I feel like we're all here having a glass of wine. I mean, I'm having coffee. I wish I was having wine, but.
And I'm having my like nervous system anxiety support cocktail.
We are wild today.
Yeah. These are not our make out at bars and boys days.
I just feel like when I was really in the deep depths of like darkness and confusion and misalignment in myself, in my marriage, in so many other aspects of my life, I would have given anything for someone to keep it real with me and to be like, oh, I've been there too. Like I've dealt with crushing anxiety and like choked on the poison of resentment, and like, you're not alone. So anything I can share from like, I mean, I'm just on the other side of like some really hard conversations. I'm like 1 month post, giant shakeup in my life and my relationship. And so, I don't have as much perspective and like experiences to share yet, but I'm just so happy and grateful to share whatever I
you're
can.
coming out of it. And I think
Mm-hmm.
so, and let's even back it up a little bit, because you shared something that I would say probably like 30-40% of my clients come to me knowing they're codependent, but the rest do not. We discover it while they discover it while working with me. And it's because, and even with you and the women in your world, your clients, like strong, successful, highly intelligent, like get what we want kind of women. So this, and we need a new term for codependency that's like super women,
Syndrome.
Yeah, like Terry Cole calls it high functioning codependency. Like but it's when you hear the term codependent, it's almost like, no, I'm not. Like
I'm
that's
not
weak,
that.
and that's not me. And there's almost this like resistance to it. So how did you find out you were codependent?
I think I started knowing okay. So in 2019, I had the idea to start Millionaire Girls Club. And it hit me like, if anyone is into human design, I'm a splenic 1-4 manifester. And so I operate on like these gut instincts, these like quick intuitive hits. And I'm like, when I have one, I'm like, that's the move. And I ignored it. I was like, no, I am not doing that, because
That's not convenient.
yeah, one, that doesn't fit into the plan. Two, that is so triggering for me, was so triggering for me at the time, because I have had so many experiences with women over the years that have felt isolating and humiliating and lonely and like destabilizing. I had a good 10-year stretch of just like merciless, just like attacks and bullying. Like I had 30 chicks barricade me in my car, or I had chicks write Jill was a slut in spray paint on the school walls. Like it's just, there's so many things I had to like unravel in order to like say yes to that kind of vision, to like hold space for powerful women. So when I had the idea, I was like, no. And I could not shake it at all. Like that was March 2019. And I didn't actually say yes to MGC until October 2020. Like it just took me so long to like muster the courage to do something, one, on my own without Josh, like something that is just me, like quote unquote in the spotlight, being the leader. Like that triggered all my stuff, because I operated under a belief I wasn't smart. And then to then have a business that serves like high achieving, successful, powerful women. I was just like, this, guys, I'm drunk, clearly, like I'm not doing this. But I couldn't shake it. And so finally in 2020, I gave myself the permission to do it, started like creating content for it in January 2021, ran my first retreat in March 2022. And I went into it being like, I don't know, like, I'm probably not going to do it again. Like Josh and I have such a good thing going with our business. Like this is such a distraction. And I ran it and I was like, I can't live without this. It was just, my whole world cracked open after that. I was like, I couldn't unsee it. And when I came home, that was probably like such a dark 2 months for me, because I came home from like the easiest, most effortless, most enjoyable, most peaceful, most healing, intentional experience I had ever had. And then I went straight back into beast mode, like dude energy, push energy inside Screw the 9 to 5 and Wealthy Course Creator. And I was just like cannot compute what is happening. And it wasn't until probably like 2, maybe 3 months of me crying a lot to Josh, that he was like, I think it's time for you to go all in. And he was the one who was like, this is your wheelhouse, Jill. Like, what are you talking about? Go in, like, go all in. It's meant for you. Like, you had this vision. This is your strength. Do it. And I'll forever be grateful for that, because he really was like my true cheerleader in that.
I love that. I love that you had his unwavering support. And for the listeners, Jill talked about it with human design, and I talk about that as a desire, or like a pussy truth. Like when you get that hit, that knowing, that's like, you know, it's true. It's so true. You can't unsee it. But then what a lot of women do is we shove it down, like in what you did, right? It took time, and there was healing to do. And I'll talk about, let's go to female friendships in a second, but or women. But it's like, that's not convenient. That doesn't fit into the plan, you said, right? So we turn away from our desires, our pussy truth, your intuitive hit that you talked about. And then when you did it and you finally stepped into it, the flow, the ease, right? Like we keep ourselves blocked from all of that power, all of that pleasure, all of that ease, that energy, that turn on, that desire, because it's like, well, that can't be
wait
right.
a second.
Wait. So I have to blow this up, or I have to say no to this to have that, or this. Like we start to do this either or thinking, and shrink and minimize and like let fear lead. And I see women, and like brilliant, successful women do it all the time. And it's even like, well, look what I have. Look at all this amazing shit that I have. So a lot of what I help women do is like midwife through that process, like that, from desire to, and I say midwife
birthing
because
it.
like, oh yeah, because it wasn't easy. There was like shit you had to do, shit you had to look at. So
shit, I'm still unraveling. The more I realize, like, this is my deepest healing work, is to serve women, which I was always like, nah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, chicks aren't for me. Well, okay. And so let's talk about that, because, and it's interesting that you say it, because I have half-day training on the mother wound and female friendships for the mentorship next week, for the mentorship for my ladies. This one's a closed door, I know. But it just that you brought that up about female friendships, because so much wounding around this, and so much that stops us from connecting and sharing. So how do you go from all of this mean girling to serving women? What shifted? And also like spray paint and slut on the school?
Yeah, I mean, that's probably one of the least of, like, one of the more tame experiences I navigated. Like, it was legit for a while. Like, I was terrified, and I never told anyone. My parents didn't know at all. Like, no way, because my dad was a principal of a neighboring school, so not going to bring that up to him, because then it's going to make it worse for me. Because a lot of these things happen like some of it happened on school grounds, but a lot of it happened off school grounds. So there wasn't much. So if like my parents march in like, someone's being mean to my daughter, like,
right,
the parties I then go to just gets like, it's like gasoline on a fire for me. So I was like, nah.
What message did you go ahead?
No, what ask? Because I'm sure, I feel like
we're probably going in the same direction. Yeah. What did you internalize, like, about yourself navigating that back then?
Oh, well, what I mean, good question, because I figured out what I internalized about other women in those experiences, because specifically with the one where I had chicks barricade me in my car, I had 2 girlfriends in the car with me. And I mean, I understand why they didn't say anything. Like, logically, I understand that now. But it was fucking terrifying. Like, we're surrounded by a swarm of chicks who want to kick the shit out of me. So, of course you're not going to say much because you don't want to get the shit kicked out of you, you know? And so in that moment, I realized, or I believed, I internalized, women will either attack you or abandon you. And that has been such a big one to unwind, because what I've experienced inside Millionaire Girls Club, at least, and with a lot of my personal girlfriends, is some of the most nourishing, supportive, loving, healing relationships can come from empowered female friendships. Like there's no better feeling, at least to me, than being surrounded by women who light you up and are there for you and that you trust, you know, like it is like balm to my soul. And so I had to do a lot of work around that. What I internalized around myself, like, I think that I was weak because I never stood up for myself, right? Because I always had packs of chicks. Like, what am I going to do? Like, just like fight back. I was so scared. No one stood up for me. So I was always alone on it. And so I never stood up for myself. And I think the pendulum swung when I got out of high school, and then I was ultra combative. And so anyone who like messed with me, I would just like fire up right away because I was older. I could like, I don't know, I just felt I was no longer living at home, like I was on my own. So I think I had the belief that like I never stood up for myself. I'm easy to attack and I'm a target always. Like I won't have good relationships with women. And so then when I had the idea of like, oh, create a community for them, I was like, nope. And then
no, thank you. Yeah. And it's like, so our deepest healing work becomes what we can share.
Even at the 2 retreats I've run so far. So we did Costa Rica in 2022 and St. Lucia in 2023. I think some of my more powerful yet vulnerable and maybe slightly messy moments have come from me sharing the real shit of what's going on in my life to the women who were there. Now, this time around, I was deep in my own like misalignment. And so I think I showed up without as much poise as I would want. But I'm so sick of trying to fucking pretend shit isn't going on for me. I refuse to do it. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that anymore. That's fucking dumb. I'm like, I'm way more powerful than that. This one instance means nothing about my future. It means nothing about my like leadership. If anything, it helps me become a better leader because I'm doing the healing work versus stuffing it down. And I can be fucking honest about it because I've detached from like the shame I felt. And I would say that our conversations helped me a lot with detaching from the shame, and listening to your podcast and, you know, like so much of your work, I think liberates women from a lot of the shame and the silence around our struggling and like, oh, we got to be on for everyone because we're the high achievers. Like, fuck that.
Seriously.
I'm not doing that anymore.
Instead, it's like, this is how I love and desire and live and fuck and cry, and like this is me in all the ways, and that's okay. And this is how I can show myself grace and forgive myself. And even if I did show up in a moment that I didn't like, wasn't my highest self, or wasn't, you know, the superwoman that I thought I should be, this is how women forgive themselves. This is how women show themselves grace. This is like me living life to its fullest, and not just staying in this small little box that society created. So
dude,
I've been working through this, and you mentioned it. And so if it's been going on for me, I'm thinking it might be going on for other women. Okay, this whole villain archetype, this whole like, I realized that with my mean girling shit me being mean girled in high school, I let it happen. I was just like, okay, like I'm the villain. I didn't stand up for myself. Yeah, like just sort of let it happen and didn't stand up for myself either. And you said something similar. Like, why? Why do you think it's shame? Like, why do you think we do that?
Mine was fear and self-worth. Like I'd just been told so many times for so many years at that point that I was a bitch, I was a slut, I was this, I was that, I was dumb. You know, like my nickname in high school was Pink because everyone's like, Jill's so girly. Meanwhile, I wouldn't wear any makeup. I like dressed so shit so that I would stay under the radar. You know, like I wore baggy ass sweaters. Like, and I was like, how the fuck is my nickname still Pink? You know, like I was doing anything to fly under the radar, to not be
To not
a target.
shine as bright as you could shine.
And I think, I mean, I actually have done a lot of healing work and I still have so much to do because even, for example, like on my last retreat, I could not shake. Like I went into it because my first one was like an 11 out of 10. And so I was like, I am going to fucking smash this next one because now I have all these ideas. I'm all in, all the things, right? And I went into it being like, this is a 16 out of 10. And there was just so many things that popped up to like add resistance or friction to the process. Like helicopters got canceled, people got motion sickness, like food arrived late. Like there was just like little things that were like messing with me. And so because I believe in having hard conversations, I messaged every single person who was at that event. I was like, look, I can't shake that this experience was not what I wanted it to be, mainly in terms of this, this, and this. And I am here for any kind of feedback. I would be so open and welcoming to it. And one of the girls was like, I acknowledged the shit out of her because she was so brave and it took a lot of balls to send me this. But she sent me like a very hard to listen to message for like 14 minutes on Voxer. And it like ripped it. And I was like, ugh. But she phrased it as me and some of the other girls. And I was like, ugh, that's like right to the core of every wound I've ever had around women.
Yeah, you're back in the car, you're back reading slut on the school wall. Yeah.
Yes. And it's so interesting that you said you're back in the car because the first thing I did was I put myself back in the car. And I talked to my like inner teenager and I just said to her, like, you don't realize how pivotal this moment is. Like, what is your scariest, most terrifying, isolating moment actually becomes your driving purpose. Like you will heal this and you can't even imagine how good it gets with the women who come into your world. Like this becomes our purpose. Like you're good, you're safe, it's all good, we can handle it. And so, I mean, that feedback that chick gave me helped me mold what will be the next iteration of my retreats and like some of the other feedback, of course, but like having to process that and like watch my own triggers was such a huge lesson for me. And it gave me the courage. Like I really believe in myself that I will not shy away from hard conversations now. I'm like, cool, I didn't die.
I love that. Sweet. And I know when you shared that offline with me and you're like, yeah, so I did this and I asked them and I was like, fuck yes. Like talk about brave and standing in your power and like you're literally asking, like you're doing the hard thing. So I love that. And I just thought that was so absolutely badass. And I think it's that fear, right? That if we don't get it right, if we don't get it perfect, or the desire so big that we don't even see how it will fit into our current life. And it's like, oh, like, what do I have to give up? What do I have to sacrifice? These are just all negative beliefs that we hold as superwomen. And you literally just created a new possibility for you and your life and the women that you work with by doing something hard. And you also did that with your relationship recently.
Yeah. That was probably like my scariest one.
Having some more chats about that.
Yeah. I was like, am I about to throw a goddamn grenade into my life? You know, like similar to you, I have a young kid. My husband and I have worked together, like had businesses together for 10 plus years. You know, there's like foundations there. We've been together for 14 and there were elements of our marriage that were like deeply misaligned for me. And I just couldn't shake it anymore. I was like drowning in anxiety and resentment and like I was almost like not so frustrated with him. I was more frustrated with myself. I was like, how the fuck am I tolerating? Like, who am I? I believe myself to be like better than this, quote unquote, better than this, like, why am I not saying anything? This is not who I am. And finally, I just like let it all fly. And it was truly what I thought was over was like the gateway to a whole other level. It's just like, I said to Josh, like, if I knew it would be this good after this kind of conversation, I would have had it months ago. And he's like been so receptive and so deep in the work as well. Like I've watched him come alive. It's like I shook him awake. That conversation shook him awake, and he has shown up. And so like, it's like the old Josh. It's wild. It's so cool to experience.
And that's like when we come from desire, alignment, pussy truth, whatever we want to call it, and share them, and we have two people willing to do the work, it's always magic because relationships are feminine led. I know. And again, as super women, we abdicate our power. We have those codependent tendencies that we need to work on. But when we start stepping into it and we start sharing those desires, men are wired to protect and provide, especially the good ones. So we have this fear and the anxiety and the resentment, and it bubbles up, or we numb ourselves, or we think, oh, I'm going to do this personal development course, or I'll double down on my professional development, or we do all the other things and we avoid, right? We avoid the creation of MGC. We avoid the hard conversation with the partner because of fear of what comes. And it's so beautiful and hard. It is hard
for sure,
and so beautiful. And like, I'm in this situation. Go. Yeah, go.
No. You finish your thought because you're on a tear.
No, it's okay. Go.
I was just gonna say, what's funny? Well, first I want to correct. It's not old Josh. It's like a whole new Josh. Like, this is not old Josh. The Josh I'm watching is like unlike anything I've seen before. And I honestly think it's because he's like in his own awakening. So we're each having our own awakening. And then together we are having an awakening. It's just so cool. Anyways, what's so interesting to me about super women is we are powerful as all hell. And yet in certain areas of our life where we deem it to not be like, quote unquote, good enough, or we have shame around it, it's like we shrink ourselves when really we should like check in with ourselves and be like, wait a second, I'm one powerful motherfucker. What am I doing? Like, I know that when I set my mind to something, when I communicate something, when I am clear in something, when I'm firm in something, when I believe in myself, when I have courage, when I follow through on what I know to be true for myself, magic happens. Even if it's through discomfort, even if it's through hard conversations, even if it's through uncertainty, all of that helps us. Like, it's like we leap into a whole other level of our own power because we're no longer attached to the way we are right now. You know what I mean? It's like, this level got me here, this level of communication, this level of settling, this level of like minimizing myself, this level of playing small, this level of staying quiet. But like, this level of myself, holy shit, is she a force? And if that just takes me like communicating what's going on for me or sharing my needs, or like one thing that came up for me that I noticed myself kind of like tripping myself up with was like, I was almost like prioritizing Josh's emotional state over mine. Oh, I don't want to add stress to his life. Oh, he's got a lot going on. No, homie, I have a lot going on as well. Like, I have this happening. I should be prioritizing my emotional state. And it's almost like we don't want to be seen as high maintenance or like a nagger. Like, oh God, you're always on me. Like, what else do you need? What else do you want? And you're like, let me tell you.
Yeah. Actually, it is
Glad you
feminine
asked.
nature to desire more and more. And I always say this to my clients. It's like, if you had the best sex ever and like 3 orgasms, or well, okay, maybe that's even going a little far. That's once you do my programs. But you have amazing, amazing sex. And then like the next day, you want it again. It's like,
Yes,
I'll
I've
have
noticed that for
more.
myself.
Feminine nature to desire more, to be
Mm,
full, right? And masculine is to just desire nothingness. Um, so, and I feel like we're always, and that's what creates the tension and the polarity in relationships. So it's good. But if we are shutting down our desire for more, we are turning off our power and that
mm,
for those around us. And there's that fear, right? The codependent fear of, oh, like, can I ask for this, or prioritizing his emotional state or your kid's emotional state instead of your own. But when we are in true alignment with our desires, and I don't mean desires from lack, desires from fear, desires from childhood wounding. I'm talking about like when we can really figure out what those are and tune in, it's better for everybody.
yeah,
Even if
man,
it doesn't work out. Right? Because even
I
we think
agree.
like, oh, maybe I have to leave the job or I have to leave the relationship. A lot of times the magic happens and people rise with you. And it like,
Absolutely.
and you're living, like literally living proof of it right now.
And I just don't want to be available for anything in my life anymore that isn't what I want. Like, I don't want to settle for like mediocre. I want full body fuck yes energy. Like, that is the standard at how I want to run my life. And so if it's not full body fuck yes energy, like, what do I need to do? Do I need to have a conversation? Do I need to work on myself? Is there a wound I need to heal? Like, what is going on for me? And because I just, especially for powerful women, like, we've already taken so many risks. We've already had to do so much work. We've already had to become so big and hold so much for so many people. Like, why stop there? Look at what we've already done. You think that we can't handle a tiny bit more discomfort? Bruh. We
Yeah.
can, like, there's so much
We
magic
can
and expansion on
tolerate,
the other side of that.
yes, the most
Yes.
discomfort, which is the blessing and the curse because so many
Hmm.
women get stuck tolerating without the full body fuck yes energy
Mm,
in all the areas.
yes.
Because I think it's the full body fuck yes energy in all the areas, right? Not just career and income, not
Yeah.
just health. Like we want it all. We want the full body
I,
fuck yes in all the areas.
it's
So
the standard.
couple quick questions for you. What brings you pleasure? What do you do for pleasure?
Oh, like, just personal, like, in my
Yeah.
own time. Like,
Hmm.
I love nothing more than Josh would be like, oh my God, here she goes. Like, I love nothing more than learning about human design. No, I'm kidding. I love walks. I live in Thailand. So I live in like such a beautiful island. I live on Phuket. And so there's so many islands around. Like, I love nothing more than scenic drives in silence, like with myself. I love reading. I love like breath work. This all sounds so woo. But if it's just me for myself, I just love beach walks, listening to books, reading a book, like looking at a beautiful view, going for a scenic drive. Like, I love observing beauty around me. It always feels like so high vibe. I love dinners. I love nourishing conversations with girlfriends. Like, the thing that fuels me the most is also, this is like very much a manifestor thing in human design. It's like we deeply crave time alone in solitude to recharge our energy. And so
Mm,
that feels life-giving to me when I have it. And so that really brings me a lot of pleasure. Reading books, beach walks, being with people who matter to me, badass dinners, beautiful ambiance, like experiences, adventures, trips, like time with my boys, like Josh and Kai. And I'm just in a really good place that feels peaceful and aligned right now. And it just feels like pleasure.
I love it. I can feel it. It feels pleasurable listening to you talk about it, which
I
is
love
what I
it.
love about pleasure is like just even hearing you talk about your pleasure gives me pleasure and the listeners pleasure and gives them permission for more of that in their lives, which
Mm.
is it's pleasure is contagious.
Oh, I love that.
Um, Okay, well, we answered a lot of these already. What would you say? Well, like, are you a superwoman? Do you find yourself being the caretaker or person in charge at work, at home? Done. Answer that
Yeah.
already.
Tick, tick.
What obstacle have you overcome or has like been the hardest for you in finding your strength and power as a successful woman?
Believing I was smart enough to do it. So my sister is a wildly smart engineer, like stupid smart, like 99 in school, you know, like just ridiculous. Like someone who likes calculus and physics and shit. And I'm like, what? And I'm 7 years older than her. And our parents, now I know they never did this maliciously, but I internalized it as I'm the dumb one. They called us Pinky in the Brain. And who's Pinky in Animaniacs? He's like the entertainment, the dumb one, the funny one. And so I think I internalized that, and that became like a big piece of my identity. Like I look back at, you know, previous years, pre 2021 or even 2022, and I look at stuff Josh and I used to do together, and I'm like, I see myself in this like performative energy trying to prove that I'm smart enough. And it wasn't until I had that moment of like, oh my God, I have not believed I'm smart in most of my life. And now as I like step into my own power and I heal that for myself, I'm like, damn, I'm like a really good coach or like, I'm a really powerful leader. Like my biggest strength, I believe, is connecting people. I love it. It brings me so much joy. I love bringing people together and I love creating experiences for them. And so that is my own version of intelligence, my own version of wisdom, my own strength, my own gifts. And so believing that like, you know, being quote unquote smart doesn't have to be like book smart, but could be savvy in other areas. Now that I have that realization, I've realized, oh, damn, I actually am quite smart. Like, it's almost like it unlocked this whole new like fire for me to be like, time to go, like time to go big, time to get out there, time to connect, time to like grow this bitch.
In career, in your marriage, probably in your parenting, like it's
Yes.
360 when we unlock those things, which I love. And
that was probably my biggest one.
So masculine, right? That either or thinking. And we do it to ourselves. We do it to each other as women. Oh, well, she's smart, so I can't be smart too. Like,
yes.
Ugh.
Yeah. Plus I hated school. Like I was never engaged in school. I was writing notes to boys and figuring out new ways to fold them, you know, like that. I was never like, oh, geography. Yeah, cool. I was just
you were connecting.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes.
So we need to add
the really interesting.
We need to add the both and energy to the full body fuck yes energy. I
like that.
That is the vibe. Okay, last question. Or it's not really a question, it's an ask.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want this to end.
And neither do I. Can you share a brag? Just unapologetically something that you are really fucking proud of.
I am well, there's a couple of things. Do I have to choose one?
No, we can have more than one brag. Let's hear them.
I am really insanely proud of myself for opening up my conversation with my husband. Like, I am like, good on you, Jill. Like, I love you. I am so proud of myself. And I believe I am so brave. And I believe that I am powerful and I'm a strong ass communicator. And I have the most insane level of self-trust now. Like I can always count on myself to go to bat for myself. I believe in that for myself now. And so I'm the most proud of that. Truly. Like outside of any external achievement, I am so proud of myself that I can always count on myself. Like I trust myself deeply. Two, I am so fucking proud of myself for MGC because I never knew I could want something so badly and create it and like have the most amazing, inspiring, empowered, funny, smart, successful women just flow into my world. It's been a really cool experience. Like, I believe I'm a true believer that alignment is velocity. And when you have alignment in your business, like, things just move. And I struggle to like, or I just have had resistance around marketing a lot on social media, talking about my stuff a lot. And I think that also comes down to like not wanting to be like quote unquote seen, not wanting to be a target, not wanting to be attacked and all that kind of stuff.
We
And so
got
I've
the
kind of played it
same
small.
shit from high
Yes.
school and our girl experiences.
And so I've played small with it. And and yet every single time I have new women flooding into my life because they hear about it from someone, or someone mentions it to someone, or someone attended something and they tell someone, like, it just spreads. It just calls the women who are ready for this into my world. And then I get to connect them and like create badass experiences for them. I am very proud of myself for that. Like, I love it. And I am also very proud of myself that I am willing to ask for feedback and hold space for it not being what I desire, and then still moving forward with clarity and being like, got it. What I'm taking from that is I'm going to, heal this part of myself that got very triggered in this conversation. And tactically or tangibly, I'm going to like tweak this or finesse this or upgrade this. And I feel very proud of myself for that as well.
So well bragged, such goddess energy. Everyone's gonna love this, listening to this episode, because it's real, it's raw. And talking to you like back in January when we were
Oh God,
doing the
so
midwife
dark.
processing, right? Like, those are dark fucking days. I am in the dark days now. To be continued, everyone. We are not taken away from Jill in her goddess energy glory. But and that's the fear, right? Because women don't know that they can end up here where you are.
Yes. I also I believed on some level, like, I think we really have to give ourselves the permission to believe on some level we will always be good, because we are super women. We do not get to this place by phoning it in. We do not get to this place by being weak. We do not get to this place only to go backwards. We don't go backwards. That's like, no, this is like our energetic minimum. If we've created this, imagine what we can do when we imagine what we can create once we free ourselves and actually fucking talk about the shit that's going on for us. Like, it's like this whole new portal opens for us, and we walk through this next door, and it's like we meet the next future version of ourselves. And then she goes through some shit, and she opens up new ideas and new levels and new perspectives and new power and new desires and new follow through and new courage and new bravery. And, like, she opens up the door to the next portal, and then we walk through that. And it's just this series of like openings and up leveling and courage. And I think that if you are in a dark period, at least for me, I knew no matter what, even if I was going to throw a grenade into my life and blow it all up, even if that happened, I fucking knew on some deep level I would be okay, because I refused to not be. And I knew no matter what, I would always show up for my kid. And that was a huge driving point for me.
Yes. And to witness you go through that and see where you're at now is beautiful. And even in the short time I've known you, the expansion and transformation and just sheer badassness, like, I'm so grateful that we connected. And I'm so
oh my God, I am
thankful
so
for you
grateful
to be here and share your story so authentically, because I know so many women listening are like, me too. Like, they're at that point where they are choking on the anxiety. They're out of the alignment and they're scared. Some of them even get on calls with me to work with me, and they're scared. They're scared of the grenade, but it's up and up only. Always something more beautiful, the feminine desire for more.
Dude, no one can take you down when you're rooted in your power. When you believe in yourself and you go to bat for yourself, even the most disempowered person can't take you down, because you're just like, I'm not available for that anymore. Like,
Nah,
I'm no longer available for mediocre anymore. Like, no, that's fuck no energy. Absolutely not. And I just want to acknowledge you because like I know I say this to you all the time. You must be like, Jill's a stage 5 clinger, but like,
no, I love it.
I just really, really am so grateful you came into my world. Like, I think your work that you do in the world is liberating for women. And I'm just like, I'm so excited. Oh my God. I am so excited for Jordin is one of our featured guests in MGC Mexico in 2024. And like, I cannot wait to see what happens once you get your hands on these chicks. Like,
it's gonna be magic.
I can't even imagine like, I feel like it's like this like atom bomb of power. And so I just really acknowledge the hell out of you for what you do and just your courage and your transparency as well, because it's real easy to be like, oh yeah, my clients go through that. I've never been through that, but you're like, I'm deep in it right now, friends.
Oh no, I lead from the shit sometime. No mud, no lotus.
I just appreciate the hell out of you. I think you are one badass woman.
Thank you so much. Well, thank you for sharing our story.
Like a lullaby.
Thank you. If you need help stepping back into your power, call Jill and I.
There's a new business brewing.
Yes. No, I was actually thinking that. I was like, I can feel something.
Oh
I didn't have my pussy truth on it yet, but yeah. Yes. So Jill, tell everyone how they can get a hold of you.
The easiest way is just on IG. So my Instagram is at the Millionaire Girls Club. That's pretty much, or just go to millionairegirlsclub.com. But if we want to chat, IG is always the easiest for me.
We will link those for you.
Yeah. I mean, I have Millionaire Girls Club and I also have a new division that I've opened up, which is also, I think, just like, not to then circle back into a whole story, but one other thing as I like navigated my hard conversations and gave myself the permission to move forward with things I was no longer willing to settle for is like, I realized I have another division to this business and it's called Her First Million. And for so long, I didn't hit go on that because I was like, oh, what will people think? And I should be staying in my lane. And after my conversation with Josh and like I cleared out all the stuck energy in my life, I was like, fuck that noise. I'm starting another division. It's called Her First Million. And it's going to be the shit. And so like, just, I've got some good things going on. I'm really stoked about it.
You did it and you executed and you were in alignment.
And it filled,
already like, working.
It was super cool. It was super cool.
Yes. Love, 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 love. Okay. Thank you, Jill.
Thanks, Jordin. Love you.
Love you too. Have a great week, everybody. If you like what you heard in this episode, leave me a rating. Your support helps me get discovered by more women like you. Together, we can change the conversation around women's sexual health and pleasure for you, your partners, and generations to come.